want to see every detail. I want to see the part where he set up on the line. I want to see when he take off and break off. And then I want to see how he catch it, how he have his hands positioned, how he tuck it and run with it. I want to see all of that.
The crackle of static on the phone lines did not alter the heartfelt message. And the walls of the Federal Correctional Institute in Tallahassee could not contain the hope in the voice of inmate 89426-020, better known as Katina Smith, the mother of Broncos wide receiver Demaryius Thomas.
The first 3 years that I was there, I was angry, and I was upset. I was blaming myself for, leaving my kids in someone else's care.
You weren't mad at her for leaving you?
No, I wasn't mad at all. I really didn't have no feelings, nothing bad towards her. She apologized and said, this why she did this and this why she did that.
In February of 2000, Smith began a 20-year prison sentence for drug trafficking, the result of her role in a crack cocaine operation. Starting at the age of 11, Demaryius grew up without his mother, seeing her only during visits to prison. He found solace in football, starring at Georgia Tech, and later as a first-round pick of the Denver Broncos. All of this with his mom absent from the stands.
Every day that I was there away from my kids, it was hard. Even we were separated for those long part of years, it was still like a void on the inside of me.
Katina's sentence required her to serve the entire term with no chance of parole. But news from Washington, D.C. on July 13th, 2015 would change that.
Over the last few years, a lot of people have become aware of the inequities in the criminal justice system. That's why I'm commuting the sentences of 46 prisoners who were convicted many years, or in some cases, decades ago.
I was crying and they offered me tissue and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then they was asking me, what are some of the things that I wanted to do when I got out? And I said, go to a football game. And that was my first answer I gave them.
I was excited and I was happy for her, but she still, she still had to go through halfway house. She still couldn't travel. I couldn't go see her because I was in the season. So, I was just excited she was finally free.
On January 16th, 68 days after her release from prison, Katina Smith boarded a plane bound for Denver, en route to see her son for the first time as a free woman in nearly 16 years. What was that hug like, that first hug?
Like one of my first hugs I got from a long time.
I didn't want to let him go because when we got to his house, he was the first person I seen. He opened up the door. He didn't even give us a chance to ring the doorbell or knock or anything. And he was like, hey, how y'all doing?
What was your favorite thing that you guys did that weekend that you got to spend together?
We actually got in the kitchen and cooked breakfast together.
You did?
Yeah.
Did she cook or did you?
No, we did it together. She did some and I did some.
One night, he was sitting on the sofa and he was playing with his game and everything. And so I went around to him and I laid my head on his shoulder and I just, just laid there.
Yeah, I remember that. She came laid on me like a little baby. It was a great moment.
We was just quiet. Even in the silence, a lot was spoken because it was like our hearts was communicating with each other.
The following day, as the Broncos faced the Steelers in the AFC divisional playoffs, Katina finally realized her dream of being able to see Demaryius play football in person.
Every time I looked at him, he was smiling or he was, hyped up, and it seems like a weight was kind of like lifted out of him.
What was lifted off of you?
It's been 15, 16 years, She ain't never flew, she ain't never been in a football game, she ain't never been around that many people. So I didn't know how it was gonna go, but everything, the flow went well. I was just happy.
After the game, Thomas delivered a special gift for his mom, courtesy of Peyton Manning.
When we kneeled the ball down, he came up to me, he was like, get this to your mom.
He had his bag that he normally carries, and then he had another bag, and he was like, oh, Mom, here, Peyton told me to give you this. And I was like, oh my God. Come on, come on, come on!
A week later, from her sister's apartment in Georgia, Katina watched the Broncos win the AFC Championship.
Yes! We going to the Super Bowl 50!
For Super Bowl 48, Katina watched Demaryius from a federal penitentiary. But this time around, Katina will be in Santa Clara to watch her son take off, catch, and run, just like she described on the phone call from prison in 2013.
That was one night I remember her being emotional. She was crying on the phone because she couldn't make the Super Bowl. Having her at this one, that's a blessing.
To have his love and support has meant a lot to me because this whole situation, this whole story could have turned out another way. It's a very humbling experience to have that.